Whoa, your hand just went right over my face. All good. Hello, we are here in our lovely little flat in Edinburgh. Post show.
It's not really little. It's pretty big.
Well, I guess it is pretty big. 3-bedroom, not bad.
3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms.
Workout room.
Which is silly, anyway.
Laundry. All the things we need. Okay, so we did the show. Well, I did the show. You did the show too.
It feels like it's pretty late. Like it's 11 o'clock here, so it feels like
which is like
you've got this kind of dark nude.
6. It's like 6 o'clock back home, but
Yeah.
It's very dark here, very late.
Yeah.
And we had 12 people in the audience, so that was a huge win. Yay! We had a lot of losses though, which
No, I wouldn't say a lot.
I'm gonna share. It's all good. So I'm really glad the opening night is done. So 12 in the audience is incredible because if you get 1 or 2 in your audience out here, you're like rocking it. There's like over, I don't even know how many shows do they say a day? Like 3,000 shows a day. You know, they sell more tickets than the Olympics here, and just the competition. I mean, it's not competition, but there's just a lot going on and a lot of great shows that people can go to. So having small audiences is totally normal. It doesn't mean you suck or your show isn't good. So to have 12 at opening night was great. A huge con, which was making me crazy.
Oliver making an appearance.
Hi, Oliver.
Cameo.
Post shower. You can come and sit, honey.
He's looking for his iPad.
We're just going live. There were these 2 young girls that were right in the front row, and I think that they were at the wrong show. And I think they realized it afterwards that they were at the wrong show. But what they didn't realize is that they were having a full-on conversation, I think, about being at the wrong show in the middle of my show. Hey, Anne, thank you. We are enjoying every moment. Oliver saying hi. All right. They were having a very loud conversation during my show, which was throwing me a little bit because I could like full on hear. I was trying not to pay attention to what they were saying, but I'm trying to deliver my lines and sing my songs and do my things. And they're like having a full out conversation. And eventually they just got up and left. So I was like, ooh, like after they left, I actually was really glad that they did because I don't think they were in the right place. And that was like majorly distracting. And the tech girl even said if I could describe what they look like, they would tell them that they aren't allowed to come back again because they were so disruptive. But I just said, don't worry about it. I rocked and roll with it. And that's one of the things of being a performer is that you have to be aware of everything that's happening, around you and what people are doing and what's happening in front of you. And you can't let it distract you. Like there was a piece of me that was kind of funny because I was being the character shame, and there was a piece of me that wanted to shame them and be like, why are you talking so loudly? Shh. And then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let them have their experience. They left and all was good. But this was happening right at the time where the tech person had the sound cue way too loud.
Oh my God. The master volume was like 10, was on like 10.
And I don't have a microphone because the space is so small. And when we did our tech rehearsal, we balanced the levels so that you could hear me perfect and the music perfect. Well, the tech girl, you tell them about the tech.
Yeah, so when we first got there, I'm hooking up the computer to the audio files. Lisa was pulling out chairs with the other girl who was helping.
And my props, yeah.
And the one girl was there and she's trying to figure it out. She didn't look like she really knew how to do it. The other girl came over. She's like, it's just like this. And she's connecting and then she's pressing play. And then she's like, oh, it's only coming out of the computer. And then she tried something else. Oh, it's only coming out of the computer. Then she started playing with the volumes on like the master switchboard, which has like 300 switches on it. Anyway, she ended up getting it to work, but I noticed she like turned up these 2 volume buttons quite high, like halfway up the board. And then she's like, hey, it's all good. Okay, you guys are good? Okay, bye. Because we had less than 5 minutes.
It's a 5-minute turnaround. And the piece that was crappy is the show before us ran way over. So they were having timing issues to begin with. Now, luckily, they went up and said it's not Lisa's fault. Like, she's not actually late. Because we were there, we were on time, we were ready.
We were 20 minutes early.
But they were already having timing issues, which was another big, like, oof. Because I had 2 reviewers in the audience tonight. And I literally saw them, like, checking their watch. Because they had to get to, like, when you're a reviewer, you go to show after show after show after show after show. And I think they were thinking, oh my God, like, do I leave this show because this is going over? I go to another show? Do I stay? Which really super sucks because then, they're not fully immersed in your show. They're worrying about their time and how they're going to get all around. And it completely was not my fault. We were there. We were ready. The show before us and the tech were running late. So my PR lady said, if this happens to be a consistent thing that happens, you're going to want to complain and you're going to want to say something because you're going to piss off your audiences because they're like, they have other shows and things they want to get to. So luckily, I feel like I made up the time and I finished. I was 70 minutes, if not tighter, which is what my show is supposed to be. And I didn't run over. But that was the next kind of big, it's kind of like if you're a speaker and you're a speaker. Anne's here with us if you're still here. It's like when you're a speaker at an event and you run over, you screw up the whole freaking event. Yeah. Because we keep a timetable and that's how these things run. So somewhere along the way, something got screwed up and unfortunately our show kind of got squashed in the middle of all of it. However, as you can imagine, all the levels in the beginning were jacked. They were super high. So I had to really push my voice to get over the song so you could hear me while these ladies were having this conversation, while we were starting 10 minutes late. And I was like, you know what? I can't control any of this. I have to just perform. I have to stay in it. I have to take in all these distractions and still give it my very best. So the other part that was really interesting about the tech person, she was quite lovely. However, she made a few mistakes. She was late on a few sound cues. She missed a few things. And what did she tell you, Eric, when you were hooking up all the things?
Yeah, so right before, it's like, okay, curtains up, here we go. We're going to let people in. And then she's like, okay, I'm ready. And she goes, oh, this is the very first show I've ever teched. She's like, so you should, so hopefully you go easy on me.
Yeah.
I said, you got this.
So I have two worst nightmares. One is that, oh, that's cool. You can put that in there. One is that I'm going to forget all my lines. That is, I don't know if any other performer or speaker has this irrational nightmare, but that is my performer nightmare, that I'm going to get up there and forget all my lines. This is now my 18th time doing the show, and touch wood, I've never ever forgotten my lines. So check, irrational fear gone. My second irrational fear is that my tech person's not going to know what they're doing and they're not going to have me. And that was definitely the feeling. I mean, she got it. Like overall, it wasn't as smooth and seamless as it could have been for sure, but I wouldn't say it was like a big disaster that people would have really noticed. That like a couple of the lights were wrong.
No, nobody noticed.
And then there was one sound cue. We watched Paddington last night, and Paddington talks about the hard stare, and there was one sound cue where I kind of gave her a hard stare because
she didn't start it.
There was a solid 5 seconds, and it's a song. So I was like, oh shit, if she doesn't,
it was probably 2 seconds.
If she doesn't hit the sound cue, so that in my head, I'm thinking, should I just start singing a cappella? Should I try to play out the scene more? So I just kind of started playing out the scene more and then kind of gave her a nice little hard stare. And then she realized that she had to get the cue.
It worked.
I don't know what happened with I Choose Me. I had no light in the beginning of that song either, the very last song.
I think it wasn't noted in the script for her.
I don't know. Anyway, but tech, they didn't have a problem. But
yeah, anyway, it was fun.
Anyway, so tonight was less than distractions for sure. Those were like all the things that kind of went wrong, but a lot of things went right. So the tech person that we were just talking about, actually, as soon as my show ended, she said, wow, your show really touched me. Like a lot of the things you talked about are things that I dealt with. I know it was your mother, but for me, it was my brother. And she's like, that really made me think, and that really made me think about my life. And, that's why I do my show, is for that. For people to be seen, for people to be validated, for people to be heard, people to think about how they're going to rewrite the script in their life and, overcome these silent battles that nobody talks about. And then here I am on stage openly singing and sharing and talking about it. And that's why I do the show. And honestly, I was really hesitant. If you were to talk to me last year, I would have said, I'm never going to do Edinburgh. I'm not going to do it. Like, I have no interest in doing this festival. I have no interest in being here because it's a lot of work. B, it's a lot of stuff going on. C, it's a lot of money. D, it's a lot of time. But E, it really draws the big like circus, stand-up, ensemble, comedy. Solo is really hard. Solo theaters are really hard sell, and musicals, solo with music, are a really hard sell because a lot of people just really don't like solo theater. And a lot of people really don't like musicals, and mine's a solo musical. So it's a hard sell. And solo, when done badly, can be painful because if somebody's a crappy artist and they're just not prepared and they're not rehearsed and they don't have their heart and soul into it, it's like when you see a bad speaker and you're like, dear God, like,
I'm stuck in this for now.
Done? Like, how long is this keynote? Like, woo, this is rough, right? And that's kind of how solo. Now, all the artists that I know are freaking fantastic. So I think we're trying to change the game of solo and show that it can be, you know, a really powerful piece. So that was one thing. And then I got this text message from a friend who he flew out from LA. Heather Dowling, my director, his friend David, her friend David came and said to me, your show is so good. You're so brave and so wonderful. Let's connect again soon. Thank you for telling your story. It's important, with a heart. So that it's like messages like that and those kinds of things that, you know, that mean everything to me. And then the press launch, they said a big thank you to everyone. There was a broad range of acts, all extremely high quality. Everyone raved about it. And our reputation was the best press launch at the Fringe. Thank you for helping us keep that. Even Phoebe Waller-Bridge wouldn't miss it. So as I talked about earlier on my live, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is just in the Indiana Jones movie. She's the president of Edinburgh of the Fringe. And I made eye contact with her and I got to perform for her, which was like super cool because they only picked 10 acts out of the 400 that are at the space. So that was a huge honor to be selected as like a high quality you know, show. So hey, Dave Lure. So that was super cool to be selected at 10 out of 400. To hear that it was, you know, high quality and the media loved it, and that Phoebe Waller-Bridge loved it. You know, that's cool. So another like decision, I could have actually gone to like a brunch toast kind of thing right after the press launch, networking thing. I could have actually met her. But I made the decision to come home and take a rest before my opening night. So that was kind of a hard one because I was like, at one breath, I would have loved to have had a conversation with her and said hello, but I'm here to perform. You know, those are the decisions that we have to make. And I was like, I would rather take a rest, eat, have a snack, be hydrated, and do my best at the performance for those 12 people that came tonight. If my path crosses with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, then it's meant to be. I hope that my paths cross with her at a later date on a bigger project, and I can share the story of how my eyes locked with her at Fringe, and I got to perform for her. And you know, it's one of those things where I could kick myself and be like, oh, I could have gone, I could have met her, and I could have this, and I could have that. So I prioritized my health and my performance over running around, and that was just something that I learned, you know, at Hollywood Fringe is, you know, you're there to perform. That's your job. So that's the best part. So all in all, I would say it was a good first show.
That was great. That was amazing.
Than the loud talky people, the sound levels being too high, the tech person's first night, running late, that wasn't our fault.
There's always something. There's always going to be something.
You know, oh yeah, Dave said amazing, good call on health. You know, it's interesting, right? Because like the way you get butts and seats is by what's called flyering. So it's like, you know, old school, you're like handing out, do you want to see a Fringe show? Do you want to come see my show? Do you want to come? Do you want to come? And I was like, man, you know, do I want to flyer for hours and then be at like 75% of how my energy? Or do I want to flyer for like 20 minutes and then be at like 100%? Yeah, Scottish people they were so, Dave, like I'm not even kidding. Like, they're like, what do you want to do? Are we supposed to be, I thought this was a different show. What do you think? Oh, okay. Yeah, what should we, I'm like.
Surprised I didn't say, Lisa, is it okay if we leave?
Like full on, and they were like front row. Like front row. I was like, oh my God. I was like, they are so loud. And then I had to shout anyway because the sound level was too dang high. So
wow.
It was just like a whole myriad of stuff kind of. When I was actually singing smaller, I was having like death of a performers. I was having like a side conversation in my head Like I was for like probably like 10 seconds. I was like, I really wish those effing people, those girls would shut up. Like you're being so loud. I know that's rude, but they're being rude. I was like, that's so loud. That's so loud. Oh my God, you're being so annoying. And then I was like, oh my God, the sound cue, this is like so loud. Can people hear me? Should I sing louder? What if all the sound cues are going to be this loud? Holy crap, I'm going to be screwed. And then I was like, stop it. And then I was like getting to the end of my song and I was like, stop it. You're not in your performance. You're in your head. And then one of the things you said, like how was so you got to see, I worked with the amazing Jean-Louis Rodrigue, and he really helped me as my movement coach and acting coach. We cut some scenes and changed some things, and he just really helped me embody a lot. So what was it like for you? I purposely didn't do it for you.
No, yeah, so I could see it live.
Yeah, have the experience. So what was it like for you?
Yeah, I mean, this is, what'd you say, it's my 18th time seeing it?
18th time seeing the show.
And the songs were brilliant before, but I think with the work that you've done with Jean-Louis, now there's more connection. Like I really felt connected to the songs now because Lisa has movement and just the way she's performing them now as an artist is like, it just lands much better. And I was moved. Like I was moved to be in the song, and just the acting that you did with the songs just brought it full circle. So wow, kudos to you guys.
And the other hard part, Scottish people maybe are loud, and I've been told, which I did experience tonight, they're not the most forgiving crowd. Like you don't get much from them. And that was what I experienced. Like I didn't get the laughs that I normally get. I didn't get the clap. I think they were like kind of unsure if they should clap after the songs. Mm-hmm. I think they were like unsure kind of what to do. And then David, who was there, which was really nice, David Fickus, he was like clapping and he was laughing. And then once he started kind of doing that, I heard like a few more laughs and a few more claps and a few more kind of things. But it's really hard as a performer. That's why people don't freaking do it, because when you don't get anything from an audience, again, it's really hard not to have that internal, oh my God, they hate me. Oh my God, they don't think I'm funny. Oh my God, I'm totally blowing it. Like, am I saying it wrong? Am I delivering it wrong? Like, is it me? Like, it's really hard not to have this like internal tape when you're not, you're not getting anything from them. So the laughs I found kind of happened, a little bit farther along, and the claps kind of happened a little bit farther along. And sometimes you get that. Sometimes you get people that, I remember in New York City, I had one guy who was like,
over the top laugh.
Like so loud. Like sometimes, or like those people talking. Sometimes you get audiences that do like inappropriate things, or they're like rip roaring laughter, which is like freaking amazing, or cheers or whatever it is. But sometimes like you get like nothing. And what our mentor, me and Karen and Dave and some of the people that are, and Anne actually, all the people that are on here. Thank you, Karen. Our mentor has taught us, like, you can't worry about what the audience's face looks like. You can't worry about what they're doing. It's not a proper gauge of whether they like you or they don't, or they like it or they don't. You can't even be worrying if you're worrying about how you're doing, you're not in your performance. And I was really proud that I chose my health first. I kept up my energy. I was able to keep the integrity of the whole play, even though I wasn't kind of getting much from the audience. That's welcome to showbiz. Like, that's just, that's just how it is. Like, you just there. And again, you don't know what's going on in people's lives. Like, I've been at fringe shows where I've loved them, but I haven't necessarily been clapped, or because I was really tired or I was preoccupied. It didn't mean that I didn't like the show. I maybe just didn't respond the way that I normally would, because there was stuff going on with me, nothing at all to do with the performer. So the reason why I did this fringe, so why did I say yes after I just got done saying, like, if you would ask me last year, I would have said I'm never, ever doing this, because of time, money, energy, resources, being a solo show, being a musical, not being a big act, big name, big kind of thing. This is why I'm like, okay, universe, well played. Like, this is why I wanted to do this festival, was because I'm really deeply connected to the story, and I'm really deeply connected to the work, and I've worked so hard on it that I really wanted to present it here. And secondly, this, like, if I can survive like this and thrive, not even survive, if I can take in all these distractions and do, expect one of 21 performances, like, if I can do all of this, then I'm going to grow so much as a performer. I'm going to grow so much as a speaker. I'm going to grow so much as a mom and a wife. Like, it helps me grow so much when I put myself in these kinds of situations that are challenging, that aren't a breeze, that aren't easy, that everything doesn't go seamless. You want it to, but when it doesn't, it shows your character. Like, you see it on TV. Like, Mariah Carey, I remember, got bagged once because she, like, stopped singing because her mic didn't work or the backing track wasn't right. I don't know what it was, but, like, you'll see it where celebrities, like, things don't go right and they quit. And it's like, I'm not, knocking them, but it speaks to your character. Or you see people's mics cut out and, like, Adele and them, and they sing a cappella, right? So, what did Karen say? It's quite often a quiet.
I'm quite often a quiet
Yeah.
laughter. Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah.
quiet means captivated.
They were, like, a really introspective. Like, there was a young couple. I'm like, I got nothing.
Nothing
Like,
from
I
them.
have no idea who they were, so they totally came, like, on their own. I didn't, like, bribe them or pray to them or hope that they came. Or they were a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. And they were with me the whole time. Their eyes were on me. They watched me. I felt them, but they didn't really laugh.
There's no response.
They didn't really
Yeah.
cry. Like, they just watched me. They just watched. And it's like, I never know how to take that. But again, that's not for me to kind of worry about. Thanks, Dave. So that's, one down. First one down. And we walked on the Royal Mile, and it was beautiful. And it's so stunning here. Like, I'm so rooted in all this history, and it's just a really cool place to be. If nothing else, it's just really cool to be in Scotland,
Mm-hmm.
like, doing the damn thing. And I really, I don't know the two reviewers that came. Like I said, I don't know what the review is going to be. I don't know if they liked it. I don't know if they hated it. You just don't know how it's going to go. And that's just, you can't let that get, easier said than done, but you can't let that get in your head, because that's not, you have to go back to your why. And why I'm doing this is to grow as an artist and to share the story. I'm really proud of my younger self. I'm proud of younger Luna, who the story's about, that overcame all the shit and has this, like, beautiful family and this beautiful life. And I'm proud of the person that I used to be and the person that I'm becoming, and that's happening in this journey and in this experience. And I have nothing but gratitude, for everything that, and I couldn't do it without you and Oliver. Even Oliver, he didn't even make a peep through the whole thing. Even him, that'll be the 18th time he's seen the show. And there's some questionable themes in that show, and we talk about his birth in there, and there's some moments where he sees that mommy was really sad, and mommy, before you were born, and before mommy met Eric, and met daddy, and there's some deeply distressing kind of, like, not distressing, but can be overwhelming kind of themes of eating disorders and bulimia and all that sort of stuff. So he's a good dude for like sitting through that over and over and over again and not making a peep at 9 years old, so that I can do my thing. Even if I'm worried that the tech might not have me, I always know that you and Oliver have me.
Yeah.
And you guys ground me like so much. So thank you, Erica. Thank you, Karen. So
Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. Oh, my little, I love her so much. I love you guys so much. I hold you all, like, commenting now, I really do think about all of you. So my 3 irrational fears, I'm going to forget all my lines. That didn't happen. My tech's not going to have me. It was all right. We made it through.
That was pretty damn good.
My third irrational fear, the worst part that nobody ever talks about as a performer, and then I'll end on this, is so before, when we're ready and we're all set and they're like, can I bring the audience in? You're like, sure. So you go whatever the backstage area is. Like, you go behind, like, pretty much behind the curtain. And I can hear you when you're coming in. I can hear you. I can hear your laughter. I can hear your footsteps. Like my music is playing. I know where you are, but I'm in this little closet essentially. Like this place is like a freaking closet. And I'm essentially like in this dark, black closet as everybody's coming in. And it's just me. It's just me and my freaking thoughts. And that's why I do this as well, because if you can master your thoughts in a moment like that, when you know you have to go out and perform and you're totally there by yourself and one woman, there's no one to save you. There's no cast. If you forget a line, like there is no, wait. Oh, that's it. Yes. Waiting in the wings. Thank you, Karen. That's exactly right. When you're waiting in the wings and it's just you, I'm so thankful to have a warm-up routine and a mental preparation and a body preparation. Because if I didn't have any anchor and I just like stood there, I would lose my freaking, I wouldn't do it. You wouldn't go out on stage. You'd be too freaking scared.
Yeah, you lose it.
And anybody that tells you they're not nervous or they're not scared, either A, they're lying, or B, they don't care about it enough. Because there is a piece of me that wants to vomit and like run every time I'm waiting in the wing. Like there is a piece of me that is like, dear freaking God, why am I doing this? Like, why do I do this to myself? Why do I put myself, like all this is happening while everyone's coming in and the audience is like, I'm like, why in God's name am I doing this? I must be like, why? Why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep doing this to myself? And then I'm like, okay, shut it, get in your routine, get in your body, get in your prep, get in the zone. What I'm doing, I actually talk about in my TED Talk. That's coming up actually in September. And if so, like rest, what is that? We're going to get home and 3 weeks later, we're back out to California for a TED Talk. But that's actually what I'm sharing in my TED Talk is like what I say to myself when I'm waiting in the wings, because it's transferred not only to waiting in the wing, but it's transferred to my life, how I just literally freaking calm myself down and calm my anxiety and calm my overthinking and, calm my worry, and I get in it. And exactly, you're like, yep, and then it's on and you deliver. And people are like, how do you do it? You do it. You step your foot on the freaking stage. And Karen, as a performer with your show, Dave, as a speaker, Michelle, even you as a teacher, you step in on that first day and you say your first words, you're in it. Right? And for me, I take my first step on the stage, I sit down on my block because I'm pretending to be driving in the car, and I'm in it. I say my first line and then there's no turning back. Like you're in it. And it's like, if you can get through that first couple minutes, that's everything. So yeah, it was a good first. I mean, I'm going to choose to see the good.
It was amazing. Amazing.
First night. You can choose to focus on the bad, or you can choose to focus on the good. And there was a lot of good that happened.
I'll tell you, a lot of things could have went worse.
She was good.
It was great. It was great.
And how about that? We were her first show she ever teched. And we weren't jerks. Thank God. Because some people could be jerks. Like we were like some artists would be like, you messed up my light, you messed up my sound cue. And I have 21 performances. So make friends with your tech people. Like don't piss off.
Don't piss them off.
They hold a lot of power. Yeah. So I'm kind to everyone. And she did a good job for her first night. So, and she was very eager to, where she did make a mistake, she was like, I got it next time. Like she was very eager to know that.
To fix it.
To fix it.
On
And
the
again,
script.
I don't make a big deal out of it, which I think helps too. Because if you're performing and you're like, that was wrong cue.
What were you doing?
I need my light. Well, then you're just a jerk. Because that's awkward for everyone.
We're all human.
So tomorrow we're back at it.
Show 2 of 21.
Show 2 of 21 tomorrow. It'll be less crazy because we had the press launch today again, which was a huge honor. And yeah, tomorrow we have a little bit of a lighter day, so we get to just do the show. I think I have 6 people coming tomorrow so far, and then I have 10 people on Sunday. So those are like amazing numbers. So thank you, Michelle. We're just rocking it. Oliver said to me today, if you watched the live earlier, I'm gonna start crying. And he said, Mom, you're the bravest person in the world. And that just like,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, that's good. Like that's why I do it. Yeah. So tomorrow we're back.
We're back.
Might be a different tech person, but you know, so I encourage you, I'll leave you with that. Maybe step away from this live and and think about where are you taking yourself out? Like, where are you going? I could never do that. Where are you letting your mind win? Right? Where are you letting your mind take you out? You know, you're capable of so much. I don't have it all figured out. We don't have it all figured out, right? But we're not afraid. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to fail, and I won't quit. I know that I won't quit. I know that if I have a bad night, or maybe I will forget my lines. Like maybe something horrific will happen with tech. Maybe somebody will stand up and go, "This show sucks," and walk out. Right? Like I don't know, but that's not going to stop me. And I think those are the things that that make you who you are. So maybe reflect on where can you get a little bit braver, and what can you do differently. And I thank you for listening. So we'll let you know how tomorrow goes. I feel more comfortable now that I'm like in the space.
We might do a pre-show live tomorrow.
Sure, we can do that. Right now, it's like I gotta take a shower. I gotta get my butt to bed.
Yep.
And tomorrow's another day.
Refresh.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned tomorrow. We'll let you know what we're up to and what's going on. And thank you for being here with us. Like I said, whenever you comment or you write to me, I might not get time to write back to everyone. And normally I do, you guys know that, but I might not get to all of you just because I'm really staying focused on my health and everything. But either way, I see it. I see everything you write to me. And I love you. And I think about you when I'm waiting in the wings. And thanks for being here. I love you. Good night. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night. And thank you. Break another leg. Break all the legs. That's what I've been saying. Break all the legs. And I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Sleep well. We hope to. Bye.
Bye.